The bus doors hissed open, and a wave of maple-scented air rolled in. Yang threw his hand up like he was greeting the whole forest. I adjusted my glasses, checked the itinerary on my clipboard, and told him, Group 3 unloads tents first, then roll call. He nodded, then raced the leaves to the ground anyway. Typical. Setting up the tent was a study in contrasts. I lined the poles by size, pegged the corners at 45 degrees, and double-checked the rainfly. Yang hammered stakes like he was fighting a tiny boss battle. "It's crooked," he declared, at my carefully measured A-frame. We swapped sides. I held the canvas steady, he rehung the guy line, and the tent finally stood straight enough for the teacher to give us a thumbs up. Yang grinned at me through his scarf like he'd just conquered Everest. I pretended not to smile back. I failed. Lunch in the mess tent felt like a warm pocket of civilization. Tin trays slid down the table, steam from miso drifted into the chilly air. I arranged my grilled fish, rice, and greens by section. Yang balanced onigiri in one hand and melon pan in the other like a street performer. "Haha, try a bite," he said, already pushing the bread toward me. I did. It was too sweet for the fish, but not for the moment. The afternoon hike started quiet, just bootsteps, birds, and our tails swaying in opposite rhythms. Sunlight caught the dust on my lenses. I wiped them and read the trail map while Yang pointed out mushrooms with the authority of a tiny, excitable ranger. We crested a turn, and there it was, a ribbon of water flashing under yellow leaves. We rolled our pants and stepped in. The stream was shock cold and glass clear. It stole a little breath but gave it back as laughter. I sat on a rock and sketched the ripples around our ankles. Yang waded deeper. "Bet I can catch one," he whispered, like the fish could understand bravado. He went still, every hair on his white ears tuned. Then, splash! A silver arc burst from the water and somehow ended in his hands. He shouted. I almost dropped my pencil. When he held it up, droplets sprayed into the sun and the whole class cheered. I think my heart did too. We got back just as the sky turned copper. Dinner outside tasted like smoke and victory. I ate neatly, habit, while Yang rewound the fish story for anyone within tail's reach, the details getting more dramatic with each retelling. I didn't correct him. Heroes can have their embellishments. Campfire time felt like being inside a lantern. I wrapped my hands around hot cocoa and watched sparks climb into the night. Yang roasted marshmallows with sacred intensity, then offered me one that looked scientifically perfect. "For morale," he said. Marshmallows do surprisingly effective morale work. When the guitars quieted, we carried our warmth out to the field and lay on a blanket. The stars looked newly washed. I traced Cassiopeia for him. He countered with a wobbly hero made of 3 bright points and a plane. "Name it?" he asked. "Yang's trout," I said. He laughed so hard his tail thumped the blanket. Back in the tent, the air held a faint scent of pine and warm canvas. Yang collapsed under the quilt and was asleep between one breath and the next, scarf folded by his pillow, like a flag after a long parade. I stayed on top of the covers, opened a book, and read by lantern light while the night pressed soft shapes against the tent walls. His breathing settled into that quiet rhythm I know better than my own. I turned a page, then another, and thought, if every school trip is like this, dust on our jackets, stars in our eyes, and a story we won't stop telling, then I don't mind planning them forever.